How do you want to be first? I know you got Jake that's on there.
Joe
King. Yeah. He King. Straight up. Let's do it name.
Check. Tasha, that was Dry Buzz fault. There we are late. Hey, Michael Byrd, what's happening?
Of course.
Sure. What up, Ennis? What up, Ennis? Mornings with Michael and Friends on Power 108.9. Got an awesome show for you today. Got some cool people hanging out with us today. As a matter of fact, Jay-Z is going to be in the building today. April Fools. Y'all thought I didn't know. I'm super petty. Hey, but now we got an awesome show for you today. Today's show is being brought to you by Nikita Todd and the Team Todd Realty Group, dedicated to helping people realize the dream of home ownership. For more information, you can visit her website. It's teamtoddrealtygroup.com. Also, don't forget, I got to say shout out to Coach Oliver Adams. Shout out to you. He got your birthdays today. Shout out to you, Coach. Also, we got your national days, your on this days. What else we got today? We got some cool people hanging out with us. Got some old faces and some new faces in the building. Not like old looking faces, but they've been fans. They've been here at the show before. No, your mic is not on, Dry Buzz. So nope, no side comments for you. Hey, also we're gonna talk about Chris Rock. He threw some shade at Jussie Smollett, even though they told him don't do it. He said, "What the hell? I can't give up on these good jokes." Also, who else is in the news? Joe Biden is in the news. You know, a lady said she touched him inappropriately. He had a reply for that. We'll tell you what Joe said. Jordan Peele's in the news. Also, we lost another one. Talk about Nipsey Hussle. Lord have mercy. We're going to talk about that today. Also, talk about LeBron James. Did I mention we got your birthdays and shout-outs? Did I mention that today's show is brought to you by Nikita Todd and the Team Todd Realty Group? Yep. We'll talk to her today. She's going to be in the building. It's a Moving Properties Monday right here. Mornings with Michael and Friends. Power 108.9. Hey, to all my folks out there in Murrieta. Got a nice play coming to Murrieta here this month. A couple of weeks, as a matter of fact. They're going to be there for a while. We're going to tell you about that play. Man, we got lots of stuff to talk about. It's Mornings with Michael and Friends. Power 108.9. Wake up, shawty.
You're opening there, April.
We're going to grab Nikita real quick now. You talking today, Dry Buzz?
I talked to
She's supposed to know.
Now you gotta mention something earlier. You said.
Okay, Nipsey Hussle was he really hip hop. He was like there, like I'm
Okay.
glorious.
Oh wow.
Yes, and the videos out there, so our young people are processing it.
Okay.
And so we're watching our young people process yet again another one. The narrative is that they're trying to say that he was assassinated because he was going to work with Dr. Seaman, who also was going to heal all this stuff and has connection to Left Eye and other artists.
Oh wow.
So it's almost like people who were trying to bring light to Dr. Seaman's situation are being assassinated. So our young people are looking at this. Plus he was I don't know if they were married, Lauren London from ATL and all that. So it's a lot of narrative. It's a lot of narrative. Yeah. And Nipsey's last tweet was, "To have strong enemies is power."
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
And hours later, this young man is shot 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
And so, and not to mention the city watched that and then watched them try to revive him. You know, so it speaks to some of your work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why I said we want to talk about, you know, you don't want to have to imagine this story being another family. You know,
You remember Dry Buzz and Nikita?
Also, hey, Nikita. Hey,
Hello.
the aftermath.
That's
People
Joe.
don't understand aftermath.
Check. What up, bro?
This is what you're left with. Having to try to rationalize this.
Yeah.
And the only place we're processing this is on stage.
Yeah.
That's the only place.
We're back, Dry Buzz. Mornings with Michael and Friends on Power 108.9. Hey, today is April 1st, 2019. Gotta say happy birthday to my mom. My mom would have been celebrating her. So Pops is 70 today. So my mom would be 72 years old today. Shout out to LaDon McFadden. Even at 72 years old, my mom probably would have been like, shit, what's jumping tonight? That's what LaDon would have said. But rest in peace to my mom. I got to text my brother too. My brother usually texts on her birthday. We be trying to remember who knows how old she is. So if he listened to the show, then he probably check my answer. But I'm gonna go 72 years old today. Hey, today's show brought to you by Nikita Todd, Team Todd Realty Group, Moving Properties Monday, dedicated to helping people realize the dream of home ownership. Nikita in the building. Nikita, you got 2 phones. What's up with the 2 phone jump, John? We ain't never seen that before.
I was just separating some things, one business. Separating,
Oh, okay. Nice. You open up another business?
No, I do not.
I'm just giving you a hard
I
time.
know.
Shout out to Nikita. Nikita stunned us this weekend, but I saw that picture. What you were doing? Like you was doing America's Next Top Model.
No,
photo
actually, I
shoot.
went to a fundraising party.
Oh,
The
okay.
theme of the party was Blazers and Bling. And so, I came blinged out. And the photographer said, "Hey, I want to take your picture." I said, "Okay."
We can't wait to see the final edit on that jump. But shout out to you. Shout out to Oliver Adams. He's in the building with us today too. What up, Coach? Today's birthdays are brought to you by Coach Oliver Adams. Shout out to him. And we got a new face in the building today. Joe P.E. King is in the building with us today. What up, Joe?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Welcome to the show. That's the new face I talked about being on the show today. Dry Buzz is the old face. She's been on the show before with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
Well, I'm a writer, director, performer. I'm originally out of St. Louis, the St. Louis area. I'm coming here to Atlanta to make some magic happen on the stage with stage plays and just new stuff, man.
Man,
New
congratulations to you right there. Don't y'all say that up there?
Stuff. Yeah, like
Right there. Like, King, did you catch that in the clip? Oh, okay. But now you do have a new play, man, and for real, straight up, you're gonna be at Marietta's Theater in the Square, man. First of all, that's a very historic place here in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
Have you been out there before? First time?
Well, this is my second time. I directed the meeting, the conversation between Martin Luther and Malcolm X.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now I'm back with an original hip hop group.
Look at you. Yeah, I remember that play. I remember just driving through the square and seeing the previews for that Jones. Yeah, shout out to you. How'd you get into this business?
Well, I mean, I came from a gospel recording family. So, the typical church, and then from that, just being inspired by different people that I saw on stage. And, how you get the feeling like maybe I'm supposed to do something like this. So I did it. And then when I was 17 years old, I auditioned for the St. Louis Opera Theater.
Okay.
And I got called back for that. And after that, I had fallen in love with it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man, shout out to you, man. And it seemed like it's been Nikita took my thing right there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You can ask him the question. You can do the interview too. You can jump in.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I'm listening first. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. But no, it's called Real Life and Original Hip Opera.
Hip-hop, yeah.
Big from Outkast did a hip opera about set down at the Fox. You remember that, Dry Buzz? He did something similar to this back in the day. And I don't know if it was before his time, but I think now it's the perfect time for this right here.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it, I remember Corn.
Okay,
And it got a little buzz, but like now it's so crazy that, you know what I mean? Act like it's revolutionary, this whole, I'm like, no, we've been doing this.
They're doing it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Tell us about Real Life, man, and what people can expect.
Well, Real Life is a transformational story that kind of that depicts the story of the rest and the unrest of modern urban society. And so I do it through dance, I do it through song, I do it through comedy, I do it through music. It's crazy. It's one I call it my labor of love. I've been doing it since 2010 on different stages. And it also has just been developing. And the thing so weird about it is that it speaks of what we are experiencing today. Like I did something back in 2000. It was birth in 2004 when I started writing it, not knowing about Mike Brown, not knowing about this Trayvon Martin, not knowing that we would be the target as Black men the way we are today. And here goes the story that kind of like, it details this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yesterday we all heard the tragic news about Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Nipsey being gunned down in front of his store
Yeah.
in LA. I think it was in LA. Yeah, it was in Los Angeles, south of Crenshaw. He said that he was in front of his clothing company called Marathon Store. He opened back in 2017. They also stated that he tweeted right before the shooting and alluded to enemies. He wrote in his final tweet saying having strong enemies is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll be honest, like I've never heard a Nipsey Hussle song before,
Mm-hmm.
but just to see that impact that brother had on, people in society, timeline flooded with Nipsey Hussle pictures and just words of condolences to him and his family. I didn't even realize he was with Lauren London as well. But it was something about this brother that people are missing him right now. And it's the same thing when we talk about real life, man.
Yeah.
I think Nipsey's message, when I was reading up on him yesterday, like his message was just like empowering his own community.
Right.
He chose to put his clothing store right there in Crenshaw, you know what I'm saying, right there in the hood. And he spoke on just keeping the money within his community, man. And that's a bold ass move today in society.
Oh yeah. The thing I think is so weird, like, now this part I do think is revolutionary. This hip hop artists, like especially grassroots hip hop artists, they're making statements, bold statements, and is actually making some real noise. And the youth, they're paying attention. Even the young adults are paying attention to what's going on because they want to see us persevere in ways that I think initially it was kind of like ostracizing. You know what I mean? You were not listening to the hip hop artists because it didn't come from a place where we're supposed to understand. But like now they bring it on the heat. Yeah,
and that's the whole thing with hip hop. I mean, I get to say this. I'll be 50 next year. But I just remember when hip hop came on the scene. Yeah. I grew up in DC, so I grew up a go-go head. So I grew up on Essence and Lil Benny and Trouble and EU groups like that. But then when hip hop started to, I always say hip hop isn't music. It's a culture, and the culture of hip hop was always I ain't gonna say defiant, but we created our own lanes. Yeah. And then it got to a point to where media felt that hip hop was growing so big, they had to say, let us control this and only give you what we want to hear. And then there became that time to where artists like Nipsey Hussle or, Lil Yachty or, all these artists that we as adults look at and be like, oh my goodness, this is some garbage music, but they're creating their own lanes.
But I will go further when you say it's not defined, but it's defining. And that's the problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it describes, that's one thing I really enjoy about this particular show, Real Life, because what I wanted to do was, how do we tell the story of the Black man? And then when I got into really like dissecting this thing, I said, this is not just a Black man. This is an everyday struggle. Yep. Anybody who's trying to figure out what their next move is, and that next move, whatever their next move can totally change the trajectory of the next 7 to 10 years or 10 to the rest of your life. That's what this show is about. How do we do that? How do we get back into how we normalize chaos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on with the show as well.
Hey, we're hanging out today. Dryer Buzz is in the building. She brought a good friend, Joe P.E. King. We're talking about the new play. It's called Real Life, an original hip opera that is going down April 19th through May the 5th, Marietta's Theater in the Square. Hey, get your tickets. Tickets are available. As a matter of fact, that parking be kind of bump.
Yeah, street park.
Yeah, they don't play, do they? They not playing the Square, but
coming out of
right, exactly. You only pay $35 for your ticket, but guess what? That boot was $175. It was worth it though, I'm sure. Real Life. Hey, an original hip opera, hanging out with Joe P.E. King. Hey, it's Moving Properties Monday right here on Mornings with Michael and Friends. And did you know that today is April 1st, 2019, and it was on this day back in 1946. Weight Watchers was formed. Yeah, shout out to Weight Watchers.
And you are definitely a supporter.
I am a supporter. Yes, I am. Shout out to Weight Watchers. They ain't paying me yet, but they keep that weight off though, boy. I don't care what nobody say.
Giving them the free plug. They're gonna come find you.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to Weight Watchers today. Hey, we'll be right back this morning with Michael and Friends on Power 108.9. Hey, Cassandra. Thank you for that anniversary shout out. Good stuff. That was a good break, bro. Do you want to tag Drea Buzz? Of course. Happy anniversary, Power 108.9. Thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate that. What up, Coach? Hey, Diane. I'm sorry, I almost called your good man. What up, Will? She anonymous. What up, David? What up, Love? Hey, Charity. Baby's out of school?
Spring break.
Yep.
Tell a little bit of the story of the main character. A little bit of story of the main character.
Okay.
I don't like to compare, but is this
Mornings with Michael and Friends. Power 108.9. Hey, today's show is being brought to you by Nikita Todd and the Team Todd Realty Group, dedicated to helping people realize the dream of home ownership. For more information, you can visit her website, teamtoddrealtygroup.com. It's actually moving properties Monday here on Mornings with Michael and Friends, and Nikita was jumping into this interview too. You just about had a question. You said you hate to compare.
Yeah, I don't want to compare because I feel like, just like you guys were saying, that we kind of set the precedence for the style of music that we currently own.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to ask, is this similar to the style of a Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to give props first before I ask about somebody else.
Yeah. Similar to the style of Hamilton,
Okay.
but with, I haven't seen the total thing, but what I would say is that from the conversation that I've had, it's just more, it grips the soul.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot more. You know what I mean? It's just education in a different kind of way. Yeah.
Hey, and the play is coming to the A. Well, not to Atlanta. It's coming to Marietta. Like sometimes you got to separate that. People think, they're going to be in Atlanta, but they really in Marietta.
But it's a hop, skip, and a jump. It's not that.
But it's still Marietta.
Yeah.
Keisha ain't the mayor of that over there. And the police roll a little different on that side over there.
Than they do downtown.
Hey, we're going to tell you how you get tickets. Real life and original hip hop. We're hanging out with Joe P.E. King. He's in the building with us today. Nikita Todd is in the building, fresh off of her trip. You said you up in Charlotte?
Yeah, I went to the Queen City to visit my sister.
How's she doing?
She's doing absolutely wonderful.
You got some breaking news for us? She's pregnant again.
Hey.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say.
Don't say that to her. She'll curse you.
Well, it seems like your sister be pregnant every year, but every 10 months, well, she got another one coming out. But no, welcome. It's spring break here in the A. I know people are now jumping at, looking at properties now, getting situated, whether it's saying, okay, I'm going to get these kids out of this school district and get ready for a new spot next school season, or they just ready to move.
Right. We're currently at the height of our spring market. People are moving. Phone calls are being made. People are out looking because of one. We started the year, it's really warm. We didn't really have a true winter, so we really started very, very early. So right now we're towards the peak of our market, headed into May. And so right now is the best time to look at the property if you're going to get the top value for in the year. Typically, we come back towards the end of the summer with higher values, but right now spring is always the best market.
There you go. And when you talk about the best market, you mean prices, interest rates, things like that, right?
Right. Well, price, when I say the best market for a seller, just because, of course, ultimately they want to get the highest price, just because, of course, they are, they're new, they're fresh, they're getting that buyer that wants to move before school, getting their summer together. They don't want to worry about that during the summertime, so that's why now is the best time.
There you go. Nikita Todd hanging out with us today. I just seen a couple of my partners just jump on the live feed. One of them birthday today. Y'all got to do this right. Guess whose birthday it is today?
I don't know.
Mike Jones.
Mike
You
Jones.
supposed to say who?
Who?
Yeah, Mike Jones. Yeah.
Who?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Joe P.E. King, he came in. Happy birthday to my man Mike Jones, attorney Mike Jones, by the way.
Oh, hey, Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Everybody heard Mike Jones.
Yeah, Mike got that billboard right there on. Is that billboard still on Camden Road? Because I ain't been on Camden
I
Road.
didn't pay
so-
attention. I was on Camden Road last night. I wasn't paying
Mike, you still got that billboard up there? I always want to be on the billboard. I always want to. We got to make that happen.
Yeah,
Nikita.
make that happen.
Team Todd Realty Group is in the building with us today. Nikita Todd hanging out with us, moving properties Monday. And we talk about this real estate market. When it got cold in Atlanta, hopefully this will deter some people from moving down here full time.
No.
They'll be like, oh, it's cold in April.
This is the personality of Atlanta. We jump in, we jump out.
Right.
Hey, here's winter. No, we're just kidding.
No, we're just joking. As a matter of fact, look out for winter because East Coast is in for a rude awakening as temperatures dropped as much as 40 degrees in some areas. After beautiful spring-like days on Saturday, a strong cold front is moving across the eastern United States. As a matter of fact, in places like DC, Philly, New York, they reached 70 degrees on Saturday. But then, next thing you know, it's about to be freezing cold up there. However, it's very different story in the colder side of the front because temperatures have dropped nearly 30 to 40 degrees. Now, Cleveland reached a high of 60 degrees on Saturday. And, that's like summer for them. But now it's nearly freezing with snow showers in the area on Sunday. Also up in Nashville, Tennessee, they also hit a high of 74 degrees. And it's down to the 30s up there in those cities. What the hell is going on with the weather, Nikita?
What was the prediction for Groundhog Day?
I don't even think he's still living. The groundhog thing. I don't even think they do that no more. Do
Yes,
they?
they do.
Oh.
Yes, they do. So that would have been a true indication as to why we were, receiving this last winter blast because maybe he did. I'm assuming. I think when he doesn't see a shadow, we have
I
a little
never
bit
remember
more-
how that thing
I don't know.
works.
It's-
Oh,
Yeah, too.
yeah.
Easter is late this year, so you already know.
Easter is late?
Yeah, Easter is late.
Oh, okay. It's not spring till after Easter. Y'all had her dry buzz right there herself. But weather does play a part in the real estate game, like you say. I think we call it Tasha always says like an Indian
Indian summer.
summer.
That's at the end of the summer, though.
I'm lost.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with spring. I mean,
Help me out, Joe.
Bro, I can't. I'm learning.
Guess who's celebrating a birthday today? Mike Jones.
Oh, who?
Yeah. We're not working this time.
It's too early.
But we talk about the Atlanta. You talk about some of the characteristics of Atlanta and the state of Georgia specifically. What is it about Atlanta that attracts people besides the nightlife? And we know people love coming here for the nightlife.
right. I mean, what attracts people here, if you're coming from markets where it's more expensive, of course, our cost of living is much cheaper than in New York, Chicago, or LA, and actually even Miami and some parts of Florida. So people come here, because our weather, we get all 4 seasons.
Yep.
We don't have a rough winter, but we definitely have a hot summer, so you do get those complaints. But ultimately, people come here for the convenience, the airport, the job opportunities, the Wakanda assimilation.
Literally,
Right.
with Marvel Studios being here too.
Exactly.
So
I mean, the new movie industry. We have a lot of things that are happening here.
yeah,
And it's, the culture is changing,
yes.
and so people like to come here, and I guess they feel free when they come to Atlanta.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this question, Nikita, but I've asked ATLians alike. Do you think the city of Atlanta has lost its identity of who we were in the 80s?
I think ultimately yes, because of course we're the city that knocks down the old to bring in the new. So it's kind of hard to find what our history used to be. And so many terms, we still have the King Center. So we're glad we have that. If the Beltline was going to run through the King House, I'm sure they'll knock that down too.
Wow, that's a good one. Wow.
But of course, our city set the precedent. Sherman came in and burned down the city, and then they rebuilt. So we continued that tradition to knock down and rebuild. Even our stadiums, we don't have any history in our stadiums because we always want something bigger, newer, and brighter. So I just think that's our culture. We want something brand new, the shiny penny.
Yes. Let me ask you about East St. Louis, since we're talking about cities,
yeah.
man. Are you living in the A now, or are you still up in
Yeah,
the
living right now.
Okay. St. Louis, how long you been in Atlanta?
About past 5 years.
For 5 years. Okay. So now you see the melting pot that Atlanta has
Yes.
become.
Yeah.
Has that happened in St. Louis, or is East St. Louis East St. Louis?
Well, so East St. Louis and St. Louis, two different places. So
Okay.
St. Louis is like in Illinois, and then St. Louis is in Missouri, but it's
Oh.
right across the river from each other.
Oh,
So that-
okay.
yes.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they kind of intercept ideas at times. But
Okay.
yeah, but East St. Louis is more rough. Well, I don't know. They kind of say it is, but St. Louis, I think, kind of like beat us down a little bit. They just drop the bodies.
Okay.
They kill them in St. Louis and drop them in East St. Louis. That's what happens.
Y'all get the rap for
Yeah,
it.
so there's no influx of no traffic in East St. Louis. But St. Louis, they're trying to change some things for
Okay.
sure. And I think a lot of people are migrating downtown. But the county was a safe place for most folks, but they have not downtown getting more traffic.
Got you. And we're talking about hip hop. We're talking about real life
Yeah.
and original hip hop. What do you think the hip hop industry? How did that change East St. Louis?
You know, Nelly was a big and major influence as far as the city was concerned, because I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword in the sense, you know, because I think it was very helpful in heightening the imagination and creating a belief factor that there are bigger things, you know, with artistic gifts. But then the other part about it is that you have a lot of young folks that feel that is the only way out.
Right.
So they don't give any like energy into anything else. It's like, I'm going to do this and become the next rap artist or
Right.
whatever. It's like, you know, but you have other things built inside you
Yeah.
as well. But,
There you go. Hey, that's what we're talking about. Hey, today's show brought to you by Nikita Todd. She's in the building. Moving Properties Monday. Brandon Franchise Penniman said, "Is that Dry Buzz?" Yes, it is Dry Buzz. Yes.
That's Douglas Bill.
Yeah, D-Ville in the building. Hey, if you celebrate a birthday today, happy birthday to you. And birthdays are brought to you by Oliver Adams, a.k.a. the coach. Hey, you know that true power comes from the inside of you. And once the power to live is ignited, change happens immediately. You can grab a copy of Coach's latest book. It's called Power to Live Through Obstacles on his website, power2live.net. Yo, celebrating a birthday today. I already told you one person birthday today. Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
There we go.
Got
Also,
the time.
Garfield celebrating his birthday today, too. Happy birthday, Garfield. But some celebrities that are sharing that same day with us. Happy birthday to Phil Negro. He former Atlanta Braves pitcher. He turns 80 years old today. Also, basketball commentator Mark Jackson turns 54 years old today. Also, one of Nikita's favorite artists of all time. She's 58 years old today. Susan Boyle. Remember the lady who won the little America's Got Talent with John
Yeah,
John?
I did.
Yeah.
How she become my favorite?
I thought you said the last time you told me that.
Okay.
All right. Anyway. Also celebrating a birthday today. He's 21 years old today. Lil P. Diddy is 21. Christian,
Really?
yeah.
Oh.
Him and Kim's baby is 21 years old today. So happy birthday to Christian. Also celebrating a birthday today. Rachel Maddow is 46 years old today. Got a WB birthday for today. Joe, a WB birthday is a would have been birthday. Sean Taylor, former Washington Redskin, was 24 years old when he died. He would have been 36 years old today. Can't believe it's been 8 years for young Sean Taylor, but happy birthday to him. And also a couple of belated birthdays on yesterday. Actor Christopher Walken celebrated a birthday. J-Rock got older yesterday. Al Gore celebrated a birthday, the man who discovered the internet. Yep, shout out to him. Also, Rhea Perlman is older today, and another WB belated birthday. Shouted Low. Shouted Low birthday would have been
Has it been a
yesterday.
year? Or
It's been 2 years, I thought, right? We'll do the research. I think
Okay.
has it been? It might have.
I feel
No, I
like
think it's 2 years.
wow.
Want to put some money on?
Yeah. Let's say a year.
Hey, hey, we do everything around here. Hey, if you celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you from us. Mornings with Michael and Friends and Power 108.9.
Yes.
Like you can't see me on camera.
I know.
That's intentional.
It's about me.
Oh, okay.
His hair is on fleek right now.
Get fix him, girl. Fix him. Fix him. You
Is
been
it-
long enough. You should have him.
It's almost like I ain't sure.
You should have him in check by now.
Oh, they can hear you real good though. They can hear you real good. Oh shit! Hold on. Yeah, that's Dry Buzz over there.
That's our future mayor.
Who? Penniman?
Penniman gonna be the future mayor.
Is he really?
Yeah,
He gonna run for mayor?
He going on there.
Penniman was up here a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually went and did his men's club with the little boys last week.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why you ain't tell me about it?
Well, you can go. he needs the support. He needs people to come out to support the little kids. And they're very, very dynamic.
Hey Sheila
The
O.
little
Hey Moore.
boys.
What up, Mo?
The name
Come
of
on,
his
Moore. What up,
organization
Garfield?
is
Happy
called
birthday,
Men's Club,
brother.
and it's basically going
What's up, Mercy or Bob?
underprivileged community and about just being a responsible young man.
Yeah.
I'll get with it. We can probably bring some of
Yeah,
them to
that's
the
okay.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They speak well. They are very memorable. They know what they want. They're not saying, "Oh, I want to be a basketball player or whatever."
Yeah.
They're saying, "Oh,
And
I want to
they're
be."
not far from there yet.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say it was maybe 15 little boys, and they range anywhere from 8 up to 13.
Drop
Oh,
us.
wow.
What did you want to hit on? You said something.
The character.
Okay.
The character, because it's the story of it's the
Check,
story of a
check.
community dealing
Yeah.
with
Okay.
kind of a Nipsey situation.
Mornings with Michael and Friends, Power 108.9. Today's show is being brought to you by Nikita Todd and the Team Todd Realty Group, dedicated to helping people realize the dream of home ownership. For more information, you can visit her website, teamtoddrealtygroup.com. Also hanging out with Joe P.E. King.
Yes,
Got the
sir.
new play that's coming out called Real Life and Original Hip Opera. We'll tell you how you can get tickets. They're going to be over there at the Marietta Theater in the Square. Shout out to Marietta Square, man.
I
They
know,
bring some good
Raul
productions
Thomas,
over there. Yeah, they bring some real good productions over there. I'm good. We get to see some of our faces
Yes.
over there doing stuff. And you mentioned, I remember seeing, I hate I didn't get the chance to see the first one you did over there with Malcolm X and it was Malcolm and Dr. King,
Malcolm
right?
Dr. came about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Talk about Real Life and Original Hip Hop, man. Talk about the character.
The character. Okay, so I'm gonna give Ray. Like what I wanted to do was like I wanted to detail some of the trauma, like what creates what we are. You know what I mean? And creates that idea that we this idea of nothingness and what was it birthed out of. And so Ray, who's the centralized character, comes from the typical idea of what we talk about urban America with, parental abandonment. We're dealing with he's living with his mom, his auntie, and his grandma, and then the effects that come from that. You know how as positive as it may appear, there's still some, there's some defects with that because, there's this coddling idea, and trying to always overcompensate because you're trying to protect from what your son, or your brother, your grandfather did not do. So you have those things. It's not like for me, I'm not part of the team that believe that a woman cannot raise a young man, but I just think there are different entities that need to be like implemented into that structure.
Right.
That sometimes that women in that particular situation are not always aware of. You know what I mean? The necessities that come from like raising this boy into a man, and what he needs for his true survival.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ray, I detailed the story with him. Young black guy, basketball player. High school smart. He had all the aesthetics that makes for someone who would look like success in the black community. However, what happens is because of those traumatic situations that were never dealt with. When it comes to this point of success, like, you got people that scout, basketball scouts, all they're looking out for him, right? And so now it's the opportunity for him to make that decision, And so when that happened, it was overwhelming because of the idea that was undeserving, right? From the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And so I really wanted to just like, how do I go into this particular psychosis of the black man? Because I think this story is very pivotal and is very relevant to today's community. A lot of these young boys, they are here doing it because doing what they're doing is because they either feel worthless with themselves or just feel that there are to receive on the other end is undeserving. I remember I had when we first did the show back in 2010, there was a young guy who it was the conversation he would say, he said, I'm about to go out and about to, do some thefts type stuff. And I'm like, brother, what? I mean, why are we doing this show? He said, because I'm eventually going to get it anyway. If you understand all of the trouble that I brought, you wouldn't understand why I know that there's no other way behind it. So I get it. Like, so it becomes like, this repetition, repeated events of these deviant acts, because again, they don't feel that there's no other way. And so now then we got the church, which also plays a role in this, because here it is, when you get the opportunity of grace and feeling like there are other opportunities behind that, and then when that particular structure fails you, what do you have left?
Right.
You know. So, the meat of it is, how do we put back that faith into community? How do we put faith back into the church? How do we put faith back into the home? And it's a trusting thing. We got to get back to the thing where we can trust each other like we used to, you know, to where we were more, where this codependency was not about enabling, but it was about motivating,
right,
and raising and uprooting out of more tragic situations.
And when we talk about that situation, when you say, you know, not saying that a woman can't raise a boy on her own, I think a lot of times it comes down to the experiences that the mother, father gives him. It ain't about teaching him how to take a tire off or mow a lawn or anything like that. It's those experiences that they share together, and that young man sees how his mom reacts in certain situations versus the way his dad reacts. I think that's what grows the child. You know what I'm saying, or develops who that kid is going to be.
I completely agree.
Yeah, my son, he's 21. He turned 21 last November, and the conversation that I had with him, it wasn't the typical conversation that I had with my dad growing up. My message to my son at 21 was, from the age of 21 to 29, this is who you're going to become in these next 8 to 9 years.
Yeah.
You're going to determine that through these. I can't do it for you, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But and it goes back to this trust, and you can trust that from me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I can trust these ideas because it's coming from I've seen the proof. You're showing me this. You show me what success looks like. You know, you showing me what I can do, what I can truly accomplish if I put my mind to it. But then you got, again, if you change that, you put it in another environment, then it goes into something else.
Right, because we can talk about the late Nipsey Hussle. Like I mentioned one of his last tweets that he tweeted out saying that having strong enemies is a blessing. And you know what? That's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I got it right. Yes. Because just in case you didn't know, I usually say sword. Yeah, there's a W in there. Why the hell is a W in there? Like, it's solid. But it's a double-edged sword because, yes, having enemies are a blessing, but we can see what enemies can do to us.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, anyway, on that note.
Real life.
Real life.
Yeah.
An original hip opera. Yeah. That's Dry Buzz and her radio stuff coming out of her. Look at her doing your thing. She thought that her arms gonna be so sore in a minute.
We'll learn the power of this statement in real life as well. Yeah,
definitely. Hey, Real Life, an original hip opera is going down. Tickets are available today, right?
Yeah.
Where can they get them tickets?
Theaterinthesquare.net. TheaterThere square.net.
Why you had to do it like that, though?
People do their ER.
I know, right?
The difference is one for movies and one for stage.
See? Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that either. That we learned something new today. And Nikita, you trying to call me out. There you go right there. You talking about you running on camera.
Now I am.
Yeah, no, you've been on. You just didn't see yourself right there. No. Hey, when we come back, Nikita's in the building. Also, we're going to talk some basketball, too. Shout out to our Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young.
Trae TL.
Yeah. That's what we call him now.
Trae TL.
Also, we're going to talk about this final. On that note, we'll be right back. Michael Prince on Power 108.9. Hey, what up, Billy? Where's the station located? Bam, we are located at the Battery.
Michael, me, you, and Natasha should go on a date night to the flight.
Michael, give me a shout.
I'm gonna be a third wheel.
Okay, we will. What am I doing? Dry Buzz.
End it so I can start over. Say something so I can end it.
Hey, when we come back, we got Moore's Mornings with Michael and Friends right here, Power 108.9. Shouty. Hey, what up, Billy? Yeah, we are located. Yes, you do. Yeah, Dry Buzz. Yeah. We located at the Battery, man. Thank you for the anniversary shout out. Appreciate that. Sheila,
Where my girl at?
Who that be?
Your wife. When she gonna get this blog so you can stop telling me?
You know,
she's scared.
I should probably talk about Drea Kelly as her affiliation.
You want to go into wait a minute, what? Drea Kelly her affiliation?
Yeah, so she's was one of the executive producers for this show.
Right, yeah, with the R. Kelly thing.
And then Tosha's story. She's,
Yeah,
from
talk
Buffalo,
behind it. And then again, white y'all in Atlanta.
What up,
So-
Sandy?
So are you
Oh,
working
thanks for
with
sending that
her
in a video.
as
Thank
part
you.
of the Atlanta scene? So she's here too, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is one of our love childs.
And keep saying real life,
Yeah.
hashtag
yes.
real life.
Okay.
Because that's the hashtag people are running. We can jump on that, take over it.
Yeah.
Because people are posting, man, this just happened in real life.
Well,
So that's why I don't want to say hashtag real life hip hop or hip musical. Just take that real life.
Okay.
Hashtag real life.
Gotcha.
This is not a game because you can
And every
actually.
time y'all have like a dramatic pause, real life. Real life. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm being rude.
No, and that's the thing with radio. It's like,
She
even the conversation they have.
Yeah.
she bossy.
Maybe
y'all.
you had a really, you
She's-
in and out. What's
She's
your
still
real
at
face?
WAOK. She think Reggie Rouse looking at her in that window over there.
You like, hey, why we ain't do this for her?
Right.
That's all you ever said. Why you don't work for me? Y'all ain't ready.
I was actually talking to someone last night, and she said that that Nipsey Hussle is like the Tupac of this particular.
Yeah, I just said that, didn't I?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because he had a lot of businesses, and he had a his focus was like the entrepreneur side of his of
Yeah.
his career versus his rap side.
And what you
That
can
was-
say is that we keep getting closer. And he was like a Tupac, but yet he brought to fruition those businesses. You know, when
Yeah,
Tupac
parking lots and
it
all
ended
kinds
up kind of going the wrong way with the death row and all of that. You know, everybody's like waiting for that one, but yet
Wow.
we only get to discuss the one
Mhm.
at this point when they're
But, you know,
gone.
I didn't even think about that as far as like these shows are concerned, because one of the things that even motivated real life is the fact that there's not a lot of black musical theater out there outside of
And the
the
fact that
Wiz.
Marriott is black owned.
the Wiz, you got
Mhm.
Dream Girls, and then
Oh, keep that.
Oh, go ahead. No.
yeah,
Super duper producer. bro.
executive producer.
Exactly.
all right.
Exactly. Look at her. Hey, mornings with Michael and Friends on Power 108.9. Hey, gotta say happy birthday to a couple of my partners. Guess whose birthday it is today? Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Yeah.
Ah,
Also gotta say happy birthday to Amber. Amber celebrating birthday. Amber, did I see you got engaged yesterday? Congratulations, girl. Shout out to you. Hey, speaking of some engaged, basketball Sweet 16. Did I have anything to do with being engaged?
No,
That's
it did
right.
not.
Yeah, I know, right? I'd be horrible segue and stuff. But yesterday, we know who's gonna be in the Final Four this year. Shout out to Virginia. They're gonna be taking on our Auburn Tigers. You know, I be bandwagon, don't I?
You sure do.
I'll jump ship
Your
in a
money
minute.
go there.
And my money goes to Auburn,
Money
exactly.
goes to
So
Auburn.
shout out to Virginia and Auburn, and congratulations to Auburn, the Auburn University Tigers. They are in their first Final Four ever. They'll be taking on Virginia, number 1 Virginia, this Saturday, and then Texas Tech and Michigan State. I don't know what brackets look like right now. I didn't do a bracket. Did you do a bracket?
I just followed mine up and just
After the first week of the game?
No, my team lost yesterday. I'm waiting for you to bring it up.
Oh, who was your team? Oh yeah, Duke Blue Devils, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they couldn't hang yesterday. Michigan State put it. Well, it was a good
Well, no,
game.
they
though.
exposed us because, of course, we're a very strong team. Don't
Okay.
get it twisted.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But where we failed yesterday, the free throws we've been struggling with, and so
Yeah.
it finally caught up with us.
Oh, the 2 kids gonna come back.
No.
Why?
Why would Zion come back?
Why wouldn't you?
Why would Zion come back?
Because you got a chance to win an NCAA award.
Which we're jockeying for Zion here in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I want Zion to go be his best self.
I like the other kid too, though. The left hand.
Trey Jones.
Nah,
Trey. Yeah, it is Trey.
Trey Young.
No, not Trey Young. Trey Jones.
No,
Yeah,
it's the
it's
other
Trey.
brother. I bet you it ain't Trey. Bet $1. We did it. You bet $1. It ain't Trey. Hey, speaking of basketball, LeBron James and the LA Lakers said that LeBron's going to shut it down. This is the first season with the Lakers. It's actually over. They only got about 6 games left. The Lakers said that, hey, we shut him down for the rest of the season. I'd be mad because if I paid tickets to see LeBron.
And that pisses me off.
Yeah.
This is your job.
Right.
There's a little kid out there who saved his money. His mama saved their money to come to the city on spring break.
Right.
To come see LeBron play. And you sit down.
And you shut it down.
And you shut it down.
They talking about, well, we're going to wait for his growing to heal, blah, 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 blah. So, but anyway, that's why y'all ain't in the playoffs. Also, got to say shout out to Tristan Thompson. He suffered, some consequences back when he hooked up with old girl Jordan Woods, right? When they was that whole thing. Well, Saturday night, Tristan was he was in LA and they were playing, Cleveland was playing LA, the Clippers, I think. And the video shows where Tristan was standing at the free throw line on the fourth quarter. And you know, them crowds don't play out there, boy. In LA, they start yelling, Chloe, Chloe, Chloe.
Wow.
And obviously it got to his head because he missed both of the free throws. So yeah, obviously that worked. So anyway, Mike Jones.
Ooh.
I love y'all to death. Hey, hanging out with Mr. King. He's in the building with us today. Joe P.E. King,
Yes, sir.
to be more specific. That's how
Pacific.
they're Pacific when you up there in East St. Louis.
No.
Shout out to you though. But congratulations, man. Real life and original hip hopper is going down at Marietta's Theater in the Square, beginning on April 19th through May 5th. Tickets are available right now, starting at only $35, man. But you talk about some people behind the scenes that have assisted in putting this production together.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Raul Thomas, executive producer, executive director of the theater company. He's Black owned, you know, and which is I'm learning it's a hard pill to swallow in the city of Marietta, you know, but he has been making like some crazy moves, like people have been supporting, his numbers have been building, and a lot of recognition has gone into his work. Also have Drea Kelly, who has been like, you know, the mother to this show since 2013.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's been like, you know, we've been parenting this thing and trying to get it where it needs to be. And she's not as visible this time around because, you know, she got a lot going on, but, you know, great. She's always a strong supporter of this our, what we call our love child. And then we have Tosha Story. People may know her from Acrimony. She played Taraji P. Henson's older sister. And she was also was Tilda in one Tyler Perry show, If Loving You Is Wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, and then she did some recent appearances on Empire as well. So you know, she's coming to do some associate directing because I am taking on the challenge of actually like being in the show again this time around. You know, and so that is its own challenge. And I'm not like one of those people who believe like I'm that dope that I don't need instruction.
Right.
So no, so she's coming in to help with that final week of the show to help kind of get it together. So I'm doing the initial directing and putting it together, and she's just going to come like make sure the technique runs well. And then just the cast. This is the first time like I usually pull in the original cast like from St. Louis, but we only got about like 4 people out of a cast. It used to be like about 40 something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but now I got about 20 people in this cast, only 4 people from St. Louis. Everybody else is like Atlanta homegrown.
Okay. So that's awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want to go back and talk about hip hop and Nipsey and how we were talking during the break. Like I think Nikita mentioned it. Like, you know, Nipsey was the Pac of this generation, meaning that, like I said, I've never heard a Nipsey Hussle song, and that's because it's that type of, I don't know. I don't know why. Like I guess now is my time to listen, but I guess he's a West Coast rapper, and a lot of times we get bogged down with what we hear on the radio, and media doesn't want to touch that type of music. That's why we don't hear his records. And there's a reason because of that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But talking about Pac, you know, Nipsey. What did you know about Nipsey?
I know his entrepreneur side. I'm not, you know, I don't follow his music either. I think I may have heard maybe 1 or 2 songs, but I actually watched a documentary he did about being an entrepreneur, putting his money in the community, putting his money in ventures that people don't think about, that are everyday money makers.
Right.
He wanted to make sure that his community benefited from whatever those services are. So I knew him from that side.
And speaking of that, the entrepreneurship in Nipsey, we mentioned that he purchased his business right there in Compton, where he grew up at, where most people would, you know, run to Buckhead or run to Little 5 Points or wherever. He stayed right there. Talk about the importance of, from a real estate perspective, how we got to continue to do that. We got to continue to build our communities, because it's real talk. When we talk about school systems, the reason why the Atlanta public school system isn't as strong as it should be is because most of us, when we make some money, what do? We uproot our families and we move out to the suburbs. We make Cobb good. We make Woodstock, Cherokee County good. Has to be a point to where we stop doing that.
And then also people, that live in the city they pick their kids up out of the public school system and they go to private school because they can afford to do that. So, just to go back into the infrastructure of the community, we're talking about, developing, your convenience stores, your grocery stores, just the simple things in life that a lot of the communities that are around here don't have. They don't have fresh produce. I mean, it's just as simple as that. But you have to drive 10, 15 minutes to go to a grocery store that provides those things. And so in order for the people to stay in the community, you got to support the community. But at the same time, the crime is number one. And so crime, you have to stop that in order for people to trust the community again, for people to come back, because there's business owners who won't touch Old National, who won't touch Camp Creek, who won't touch Main Street and College Park. So you have to rally around the police, which is another thing in the Black community that we don't trust.
Right.
So it's a full circle of we got to trust the police officers. The police officers have to support the community, and then that's when we buckle down on crime, and that's when the businesses come back, and then that's when we start supporting the community.
Yeah, we come back to that word trust, like you were just talking, Joe, Pete E. King. We have to trust one another. Hell, we got to trust our neighbors. Like it's a point now we don't even trust our neighbors. We don't even want to speak to our neighbors anymore.
Yeah, it's too common of a thread. And then even talking about some things, the issues that the show addresses, we talk about that whole convenient market thing. That's one of the through lines in the show. Is this the store owner, he wants to keep things into the community, but it's like, how do I do this?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm still suffering from robbery. I continue to lose in this. No one gains anything out of this situation. So what are my true alternatives?
Exactly.
It's almost like you're a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Just like in school, because people, I was one of those people. I'll say I raised my hand. That I lived on the South Side. And I picked my children up out of that environment, which I would prefer them to stay there just because I grew up in a predominantly Black neighborhood. And so middle class neighborhood, I went to school with, the majority. Of course, throughout my career, my school career, I did, some changes, but I took my kids out because I wanted them to have a different experience, a world experience. I didn't go predominantly one way or another, but I just wanted them to have a particular school experience. And I did notice that when I was on the South Side, the participation was not there from the parents.
Correct.
And I had nothing to do with, anything. If this is a professional community. So, you just have to make sacrifices to say, I'm going to be at the PTA meeting. I'm going to volunteer at school today.
Yep.
Because my kids are most important, and my kids in my community are most important. And unfortunately, I didn't want to be the sacrificial lamb to continue on that I just needed to just make a sacrifice and do something a little different.
I mean, real life, because we literally live 5 houses down from the school. And my mom, she went across town to make sure that we had, adequate education. So I get it, that's just real talk. That's how it is.
Real life. We're one of those people too. I mean, wife and I, we had our first house on Atwood Street, right there in the heart of the West End. I'm talking about a hop, skip, and a jump from I-20. However, and our kids went to Atlanta Public School for a minute, but I had that mindset, as a hip hop head and African American in America, once I get me some money, guess what? I'm getting the hell out of here. And as soon as I got some, I did. We ran all the way up to Woodstock, Georgia, in Cherokee County, 575, because I knew we wanted something better for us. But then it goes back. I can't trust my neighbors.
Yep.
We can't trust the police. You call the police back then. Someone broke in our house. Right. It took them 2 hours to come out. You know what I'm saying? And you lose that trust. Yeah. Hell, you go up in Woodstock and call the police and hang up. They're there in 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to what we're saying. We got to gain the trust back from the community. And we say from the community, that's from everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. I mean, the real life truth in it is that I think it's culture. It's a culture, and it's kind of hard to get away from it because whatever this culture dynamic that says if you are in this socioeconomic class, you're supposed to behave in this particular way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of like recalibrate that. Like there's more. But how do we get people to trust all over again into communities that were built off of poverty? You know what I mean? we knew how to the churches, like something about the lack of created, the togetherness within us, and now it's like we're afraid of it.
Yeah.
Well, just in conversations with my aunts and uncles, I would say, okay, at what point did we break apart? What point did we become unfocused? And they always talk about and go back to segregation when they decided they wanted to integrate schools, integrate life. We felt like, okay, well, maybe it's greener on the other side of the fence in this integration thing. But some people said no. We want to keep our communities. We want to keep our doctors. We want to keep the doctors and the garbage worker in the same community. Maybe because we were isolated.
Right.
We were in our own communities.
Yeah.
But when they let us out, per se, then we got separated.
Right.
And our community got weak.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because that's what it is for me when I talk about like the divide between society is segregation within. You know what I'm saying? We separate ourselves on everything, whether it's religion, social justice insights. That's not the word I was looking for, but economically, we segregate ourselves. We segregate ourselves between our light skinnedness and dark skinnedness, religion, everywhere, and that hurts us. And when I go back to think about hip hop and what these young kids are doing now, because let's go back a little bit. Remember, as an artist, as an artist, you had to be a rapper or an R&B singer.
Yep.
You had to be an R&B singer or a gospel singer. There was no such thing as being an R&B gospel rapper.
Yes.
Nothing at all. Right, country, exactly.
Right.
But now they're making their own way.
Yeah.
And we go back to talk about Nipsey and what Nipsey is doing or what Nipsey did for his community. He's changing that he's changing the way we think or the way, the youngsters think out there.
Yeah.
Diversity.
Yeah, which is one of the things. Like I said, when I first did the show, Real Life, I was like, man, I want the power of just seeing different faces on stage. How do we find other ideas? What attracts us? Because one of the things I love about hip hop, like we talk about Eminem. Is that how you say Eminem? What is it? Eminem. It just felt wrong coming off my tongue. But anyway, just right. But no, just knowing how how the how structuring this multiracial idea, and utilizing hip hop again, because hip hop is about storytelling.
Right.
It really is.
It really is.
It's about just clear storytelling and talking about this struggle that, again, this how do I define myself as a human in this moment? And this is what it is. You know what I mean? People don't understand me, but there is a group that does understand where I come from and what I'm talking about. And honestly, I think it's one of the things that's worked for Tyler Perry when he came, and because a lot of people, especially on the mainstream theater, that were kind of like opposing his way of doing it. But the Black audience, the urban audience, they found it attractive because it was very relatable in the sense of like now, it's perhaps not the story that we want to get out all the time, but it is a depiction of our story finally being told. Like we were saying, I was discussing earlier, Real Life was very intentional because when we look at the sections of Black musical theater, it's a very low number. And so me, especially as a performer as well, coming out there trying to figure out who and what do I audition for. And then if I don't do Dreamgirls, I got to do the Wiz. I'm not doing the Wiz, and I'm like, what else is there?
Right, exactly.
Which is where I can understand. Like back, I think with Broadway, they tried to do the Wiz as a multi-racial cast, and it got a little bit of heat as well. But I'll be glad when we can get past all that. To where there are more real life that are being created. Like my goal is to make this thing a classic thing. So now, and then I'm making the choice. I'm like, I want to make it like multi-racial. I want to see other faces on this thing because, again, it's when we're talking about socioeconomic class, the culture of the class of when you're poor, because it does not range with the color. You know what I'm saying? You go into a white impoverished community, a lot of the crime is still the same. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't change.
Yeah.
When you talk about coming into the lane of August Wilson, who told a decade of our lives, then Lin-Manuel.
Yes.
The thing with Hamilton, as popular as Hamilton is right now, the cast members are afraid to leave the show because even as popular as that show is, there are no other opportunities for them.
Right.
Yeah.
If Lin-Manuel doesn't write it, I mean, look at the lead guy. He went to go do jazz.
Okay.
And he said that he's leaving the show, the most successful show there is, and he said he doesn't have offers for the next 10 years.
Mhm.
You know, whereas if it was an all-white cast, they would be pulling them,
Everybody
they
would
would
be
have
working.
their lives set.
Yeah.
But these cast members, they can't leave that show because
That's
there's
true.
no other jobs for them.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. Hey, when we come back, we got more real life and original hip opera. It's going down Marietta's Theater in the Square. Tickets are available right now. You can check out tickets where?
Theaterinthesquare.net. Theater, Theatre,
RE.
square.net.
Hey, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back this morning with Michael and Friends. Power 108.9. Real life.
That's real talk.
Mm.
Keep saying real life.
Real life, yes.
That's the whole thing.
Yes.
Real life.
Man, it's
Does it have-
What up, Deacon? Deacon Whitehead, what's happening?
What's your social media?
I'm
mine.
glad I didn't cut Deacon
I
Whitehead.
got like this real life hip hop.
Yeah.
It's real life.
Real life hip hop.
Just do the hashtag real life. You know,
Is it an it's in front or it's just real life hip hop?
Instagram is real life hip hop.
Mhm.
But I mean, you can build a new page if you want to.
Mainly just really the hashtag, keeping the links out there on the hashtag. That's what people are gonna end up going to.
All right, we're back, y'all. It's the last break.
Start every single real life. Real life. And
Mornings with Michael and Friends on Power 108.9. Today's show brought to you by Nikita Todd and the Team Todd Realty Group, dedicated to helping people realize the dream of home ownership. For more information, you can visit her website, teamtoddrealtygroup.com. Moving Properties Monday, as we always do on Mondays. Hey, today is also April 1st, 2019. It's actually our 1-year anniversary at Power 108.9. We moved in last year this time. So shout out to us. Cannot believe 12 months in the game. And this is month number 12. I got to say thank you to everybody, one, that has listened to the show and have trusted, especially the PR people that have trusted their clients with the Mornings with Michael and Friends show. First of all, you know you're doing a great job when the PR people send them up here because they know they have fun.
can I still use my lunch gift card?
No,
I won that time?
Nope,
She
still
gonna
can't use
expire
that.
now.
This is gone, yes. That left with the old building. And I gotta say thank you to in January we started adding new programming to Power 108.9. So let me see if I can do this right. Mo, the Post Up News on Sunday, Soul Therapy on Sunday, Tuesday, the Takeover with Christopher Carter. Gotta say thank you to Carl Spear and the Huddle. Wednesday, you got 20 Years in Counting with Michael and Latasha. Right after that is the T. Marie Radio Show with Q and T. Marie. Thursday, Cindy B. and Vu with Vu's Views. And then right after that is Relationship Status Live with Chanel and Josh Powell. So I got to say thank you to them for hanging in with us. They've been here for about 2 or 3 months or so, and everybody's enjoying themselves. And we also got 3 other shows that we're going to be debuting this month as well. So with all that being said, it's going down August 19th, right across the street. Our partners at Sports Social, they're going to hook us up with a nice little 1-year anniversary party. Come and get your drink on. Maybe you can use that lunch ticket this
I can
time.
use that, okay.
Are
Maybe.
you saying April or August?
April.
You said August.
August is our 10-year anniversary doing
Right,
radio.
doing radio.
Yeah. But for April 19th, we're going to do something over there at Sports Social.
You
Oh,
still won't print out extra copies of the box.
Still won't print them out. Nope, it's all mine. Yep, it is. Hey, did I mention that it's the first? Today's my mom's birthday. Gotta say happy birthday to my mom. Rest in heaven, mom. Also gotta say, did you know that it was on this day, I got a couple of them I want to throw out there. On this day in 1929 that Louis Marx introduced the yo-yo. For everybody that loves the yo-yo. It was also on this date in 1778 that a businessman from New Orleans, Louisiana, his name is Oliver Pollock, he created the money symbol sign. Yeah, somebody actually created that. Yeah, never knew that. Also, it was on this day back in 1891 that William Wrigley Jr. Company was founded in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
The company is known most for its gum, Juicy Fruit. Y'all remember Juicy Fruit back in the day?
The one
Yeah.
that loses its flavor. So you put it in your mouth.
Four chews, and you're like, can I find some way to spit this thing out? So, yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about real life and original hip opera, gotta say shout out to Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele, he released that movie called Us, about 2 weeks ago. $128 million is done at the box office so far. And Peele came out again and said he will never hire a Caucasian brother or sister to play a lead in his movie.
Oh, wow.
Don't blame him. He don't have to.
Yeah.
He does not have to. So shout out to Jordan Peele. Also shout out to Chris Rock, because yesterday, I think it was the 50th annual NAACP Image Awards. Right, they get a participation show. Well, guess what? Chris Rock made some jabs at Jussie Smollett moments before he presented the award for Outstanding Comedy. Y'all know that Jussie Smollett lost to Grey's Anatomy star Jesse Williams in Best Supporting Actor in the drama series. Chris Rock came out and said, yeah, I know they told us not to say any Jussie Smollett jokes, but he could not resist. He said, yeah, you know, but what a waste of light skin. He said, do you know what I could do with all that light skin on Jesse? He also said, you are now known as Jesse from now on. You don't even get to get the U anymore. That U is for respect. He also said, you ain't getting respect from none of us or nobody. So Chris Rock,
I mean,
man. I love Chris Rock.
That's a big thing for him to say, because he was just canceled because of the
Who was canceled?
Chris Rock allowing his white comedians to drop the N-word all day around.
Oh, okay.
So
did he really?
Yeah, that was conspiracy. Not conspiracy, but that was actual stuff that happened with him.
Well, shout out to Chris Rock. But he did waste all that light skin. Once again, go back to segregated. I'm sorry.
Light skin privilege.
Right. Light skin privilege. Hey, it is going down at the
Power 108.9.
No, send that to Dry Buzz, please. It is going down though, April 19th, man. I'm super excited. Joe P.E. King is in the building.
Sir.
One, thank you for waking up with us this morning. And I gotta ask, I always ask the question, man, who is this for? Who is real life for?
I think honestly, it's for everybody. I mean, we touch from the youth to the senior citizens, and it's something for everyone. Musically, with the dialogue in the show, there's nothing that will. No one can come in here and won't be able to take something away.
Yeah.
I can say that without any doubt.
Do you get to enjoy the production at any time? Well, not this time. Not what you've been in it.
He's in the show.
Right, not this time.
I enjoy the making of it. I tell you this, because dealing with a new cast of people, especially the talented folks here in Atlanta, I have an opportunity to put some new stuff and see what work some stuff I have not been able to work in a minute, because the people who have done it in the past, they were married to it. We were all married to it. So when it's like, oh, Joy, you want to change this? Okay, all right, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Well, now they don't know anything. They just coming into the show. So it's like, okay.
For those of us that don't know, like the rehearsal schedule, talk about the behind the scenes, man, and the work that this cast put in, bro.
Yeah, the cast is great. And they can have a lot of homework. And I'm dealing with the culture of Atlanta, because Atlanta theater, because you got a lot of people that working to live first, and then comes all the extracurricular activities. So I mean, for them, they want acting to be their life, but it's not paying the bills all the time. You know what I mean? So we have 6 to 10 is our rehearsal schedule.
Okay.
And we do it, first we were doing like 2-3 days a week, but now it's almost like every day that we have to be up in there and make sure that it works, because some people can work this schedule. They can't work. It's more like stressful for me and the stage managers than it is for anybody.
I got you.
Just trying to make sure that we can make something that works, and trying to get everybody in the same room at one time. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely excited, man. Definitely, we're gonna do a date night. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be awesome.
And I didn't know 20 Years Accounting when y'all was on the show. I see it online.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't see that? Look at Dry Buzz. Just
Give me some buzz.
yeah. Bzz, I got you. We'll get some as soon as we finish up. Hey, before we get out of here, though, Nikita is gonna bless the show. She's gonna sing a rendition of God's Greatest Gift by Shirley Caesar. Hey, for tickets, one more time, brother. How do we do that?
For real life and original hip opera, written, directed, and created by Joe P.E. King.
Yay, yay!
Go to theaterinthe.square.net. Theater, TheaterInthesquare.net.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did. You
okay.
said that right. Also, we're gonna holler at Drive Bus, hit Drive Bus and get us some tickets to give away since this is our 1 year anniversary.
Y'all right
You know
down
what I'm
the
saying?
street.
You could do something for some of our people. Nikita, Moving Properties Monday. Nikita Todd hanging out with us today. Hey, springtime is here. Even though the weather don't show it,
It's here.
what you got for
The
us?
pollen shows it.
Yes.
Oh
my
my
sinuses
God.
are affected by it.
Man, I know it's itching right now.
But today is April Fool's, and you didn't say that, so that's why.
Oh, we got y'all this morning.
You did.
Yeah, because I said Jay-Z was gonna be on the show this morning.
Oh yeah,
All the viewers started logging on. They were like, "Well, Sugar in the building," and then it's like, "Oh man, that's just Joe."
No, I'm saying that's what the weather is doing. It's April Fool's.
Oh
you know?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that went over our head.
No, all the way. All the way.
Stick to real estate, sis, and
Good
singing.
example.
Hey, best piece of advice you can give us before we get out of
Best
here.
piece of advice today is to make it happen. Pick up the telephone, call your real estate agent. If you don't have a real estate agent that you trust, you can give me a call at 404-379-6239, and we can have a seller's consultation on how we can get your home sold in 30 to 45 days.
That's what I'm talking about. TeamTireRealtyGroup.com. Hey, I'm sorry I'm jumping out of here early. I forgot to get gas yesterday. I know how it is. I should have got me some gas yesterday. I really should have.
It was Sunday.
Hey, guess whose birthday it is today, though?
Who?
Mike Jones!
Who?
Mike Jones!
Who?
Real life.
Real life.
Hey, before we go, man, we got to say rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. He was doing something extraordinary for his community out there in Compton in LA. You know what? Don't be afraid. That's what I say. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And you have to do things that are gonna make people remember who you were. And I think Nipsey was doing that same thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do his family a favor. I'm streaming Nipsey Hussle all day today. I was gonna play all some Nipsey music because once again, I hate that I didn't know a lot about the brother, but trust me, his legacy will live on, and I'll do my due diligence to make sure I know what he was fighting for, and we continue to talk about that. All right. Hey, tonight the Atlanta Braves are finally home. We got our ass kicked up in Philly for like 3 games. Hopefully tonight it'll be a lot different. It's the season opener down here at SunTrust Park, so we'll see what happens tonight.
You going?
It's gonna be like 30 degrees outside. Yeah, you going?
No.
You want to go?
I do want to go.
All right, let's see what we can do.
I need 3 tickets though.
Hold on, how you gonna go with me and say you need 3 tickets?
Because my babies are on spring break.
Oh, okay. All
I
right,
can't go without them. I'm a good mother.
all right. We'll talk about
Oh.
that. Hey, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Mornings with my good friends. Peace. She said she had a good morning. Yo, hey, I gotta say shout out to y'all for tuning in today. Don't forget, grab the tickets. Real life, an original hip opera is going down at the Marietta Theater in the Square. And don't forget to check us out every Monday through Friday. It's Mornings with Mike and Friends right here. Power 108.9. I'm from DC, by the way. If y'all didn't know.
This was
Great
dope,
show.
man.
Thank you, brother. I
Brother.
appreciate that.
Get up in the
I
morning,
appreciate
it's a lot.
that.
Thank you.
Hey, what up, Megan?
Yeah.
Hey, Tiffany. Thank y'all.
When's it?
Wednesday, 10, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, not so early.
Okay.
Not so early.
Hey, I'm game. man.
Wednesday's going to be same setup, but kind of like a live stream TV kind of situation.
This is nice. Thank you.
Like that's on
God damn
Facebook, on my page, and on Driver's page, and let's see. Yeah. Great Atlanta conversation. Oh my God!
Yeah.
All right, we're ready.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
For real, straight up.
Y'all definitely come over. Let's get you that opening night.
Well,
Okay.
19th they got that.
The 19th,
I
yeah,
just said
opening
it.
night, opening, Raul
Yeah, they
throw
got something on
down
the
for
19th.
opening night.
Uh,
So